Hey, what's going on there, guys? Nick here from Absolute MTG, and I'm here with a event deck opening for you guys. So we have the Born of the Gods Underworld Herald event deck that we're going to be taking a look at. So this just came out today, and I was able to pick this up at my local card shop. So let's see what all we get inside of here. So if I remember correctly, this is the like mono black-ish type deck that Wizards revealed a while ago. And it is, just has the black symbol there, which I pretty much disregarded at first. But yeah, like this deck, if I remember the deck list correctly, is pretty sweet. So we'll take a look at what we have inside. We have our sideboard here. We have our divider for the main board and sideboard. We have a insert for how to play Magic, and a insert for the event deck itself, which you guys can take a look at if you care to, whenever you buy, if you buy this product. We have our deck, and then we have a spin down die with Born of the Gods right there. So that's pretty sweet. We'll close this up and put this back together and take a look at the deck list. So let's take a look at the main board first. I mean, this deck seemed like it was something that could easily be, you can easily add things to it, and you can easily like make it better by like splashing a color or something. But we have Tormented Hero, so we have 3 Tormented Hero. Obviously, if you want a little bit more consistency, you can add another one in here. We have Rakdos Cackler, so we have another 1-drop. So we have 4 Rakdos Cacklers. There's another 2 power 1-drop in the deck. We have Blood Scrivener, so 2/1 for 2 mana, and if you would draw a card while you have no cards in your hand, instead draw 2 cards and you lose 1 life. We have a Pack Rat, so power and toughness equal to the number of rats you control. 3 mana, discard a card and put a token on the battlefield that's a copy of Pack Rat. We have Spiteful Returned, so 1 power, 1 toughness, 2 mana. We can bestow it for 4, and whenever it or the enchanted creature attacks, defending player is going to lose 2 life, and enchanted creature gets +1/+1. So we have 3 of those actually. We have some Rakdos Shred-Freak, so 2/1 for haste, the 2/1 with haste for 2. So we have a playset of those. Mogis' Marauder, and we have 3 of those, and it would actually be pretty sweet to have a 4th one in here as well. Mogis' Marauder is sweet, 2/2 for 3, and whenever it enters the battlefield, up to X target creatures each gain Intimidate and Haste until the end of the turn, where X is your devotion to black. So if you're playing like just strictly black creatures, like this deck is pretty much aiming you towards, being able to play Mogis' Marauder, give them all Intimidate and Haste, like if you want to play like 2 things in a turn with Mogis Marauder, is really awesome. You have 2 Xathrid Necromancer, which is just really nuts in this deck. I think that's like one of the big centerpieces of this deck, is just to get 2 of these guys. They're not really expensive, but it's a sweet card nonetheless from a core set. 2/2 for 3, and whenever Xathrid Necromancer or another human creature you control dies, put a 2/2 black zombie creature token on the battlefield tapped, which is good up against like removal your opponent has. Like, it's also good up against control if they Supreme Verdict you and you have Xathrid Necromancer out, or even better yet, like multiple Xathrid Necromancer. We have Agent of the Fates, so 3/2 for 3, Death Touch, and off of Heroic. Whenever you cast a spell that targets Agent of the Fates, each opponent sacks a creature. It's a pretty sweet card. I mean, you can like cut it out and make it more aggressive. Of course, there's like black-red aggro in Standard right now with Born of the Gods. It's not as played as it was during Theros, but black-red aggro is still definitely a thing with Orzhova and Tyramet and like all the other like black creatures that are in this deck already, actually. But we have Herald of Torment, which is another sweet addition to like black aggro. 3/3 for 3 with Bestow for 5 and Flying. At the beginning of your upkeep, you lose 1 life, and the enchanted creature, if you choose to bestow it, gets +3/+3 and has Flying. We have a Crypt Ghast, which is 2/2 for 4, extorts. Whenever you tap a swamp for mana, add 1 black to your mana pool. It also has, the extort's really sweet, just based on casting cheap things and being able to pay that 1 black and then have your opponent lose 1 life and you gain 1 life. Erebos' Emissary, which is just only a 1 of, so 3/3 for 4, bestow for 6, and you can discard a creature card and give +2/+2 to Erebos' Emissary or the enchanted creature, and an enchanted creature gets +3/+3 off of just the bestow itself. Desecration Demon, just as a 1-of, 6/6 for 4 flying, and at the beginning of each combat, your opponent can sack a creature into the Desecration Demon off of the trigger, and if they do, they tap him down, but he gets a +1/+1 counter. Another really sweet card for this type of deck. We have 3 Doomblade, which is pretty alright. Just ringed on black creatures. Depending on, like, if you want to play competitively, like, Mono Black's a pretty competitive deck, and it's around here in Born of the Gods season, so maybe not Doomblade as a 3-of in the main board, maybe like 2-of or 1-of. But it just really depends on what you see being played a whole lot in your local meta. Ultimate Price, however, is really good. We have 2 of these. So destroy target monocolored creature for 2 mana. We have 2 of those. We have Bile Blight, which is another sweet card from Born of the Gods. A target creature and all other creatures with the same name as that creature get -3/-3 until the end of the turn for double black. Hero's Downfall, destroy target creature or planeswalker for 3 is awesome at an instant speed. Gift of Orzhova, +1/+1 and flying and lifelink to a enchanted creature, enchant for 3. Fated Return, which is all too expensive for this deck. I think, like, if you want to go make changes, this is probably the thing to go and change out first. Like, it costs 7 mana, so that's really unrealistic for this type of a deck, especially because you're playing really quick-paced aggro. So put target creature card from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. Gains indestructible if it's your turn, scry 2. Or, yeah, scry 2. And then the land base, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24 swamps. So yeah, I mean, if I was looking to cut anything, probably Fated Return would be the first thing. Depending on how you want to, like, make the deck, maybe Agent of the Fates would stay or go. I would definitely try to get 2 more Xathrid Necromancers for this type of a deck. Spiteful Returned is still pretty sweet. It's a sweet card. Herald of Torments, another card that I would try to get some more multiples of in here. Maybe cut down, like, on Erebos' Emissary, maybe Crypt Ghast. It really just depends. But I think this deck is really sweet nonetheless. Mono Black aggro is pretty sweet. Even if you want to go bigger, I mean, you could play, like, Mono Black Devotion, and you can capitalize on Pack Rat and Grey Merchant of Asphodel, so you can go that route as well. But I guess there's kind of like 2 different ways that you could approach this deck, or you could just kind of combine and clash them into like a mid-range style deck. And let's take a look at the sideboard real quick. So we have Cremate on top here. There's 3 Cremate to exile target card from a graveyard and draw 1 card. If you're playing against decks that play like interacting with their graveyard and stuff. Dark Betrayal as a 2-of to destroy target black creature for 1 black mana. Duress as a 4-of, because obviously they couldn't put Thoughtseize in this type of a deck, especially not as a 4-of. So target opponent reveals his or her hand, you choose a non-creature, non-land card from it, and they have to discard it. Useful up against decks like Control. Pharika Cure, useful against aggro. We have 2 of these. Deals 2 damage to target creature, and you gain 2 life for double black. Staff of the Death Magus, I'm not entirely sure that this card is necessary at all in the sideboard. Whenever you cast a black spell or a swamp enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 1 life. And 2 more Gift of Orzhova, which actually is somewhat useful. +1/+1 flying lifelink to the creature for 3. Again, like we reviewed it in the main board. But Staff of the Death Magus, I would probably switch for like maybe another 2 Pharika Cure or Drown in Sorrow from Born of Gods. That's another sweet card up against aggro, but it really just depends on like what you want to play against in like a competitive setting. Like if you're aiming to play competitive at all, this is a really good deck to buy just to be able to kind of make that gap and get a deck that's somewhat competitive and just kind of try to start doing competitive play and stuff like that. But there's some small changes that you can make and the deck can just get so much better. But I think like Staff of the Death Magus, the 7 mana return in the deck, those are probably 2 big things that I would switch out of here. But ultimately, it's up for you guys to decide. If you feel like purchasing this deck, I'm going to have a link in the description where you guys can find it online and purchase it. You can also find it at your local card shop or hobby shop, more than likely. But otherwise, if you guys enjoyed the video, I would appreciate it if you thumbs up the video and check out the links that we have in the description for our social media pages and whatnot. So yeah, thank you for watching. Until next time, guys, peace out. If you guys enjoyed this video and would like to see more Magic the Gathering content, you can hit the subscribe button on the screen and you'll be notified whenever a new video is available. And for those of you guys that enjoy Yu-Gi-Oh!, you can check out my Yu-Gi-Oh! Channel by clicking on the video in the top right-hand corner. Also, be sure to check out our sponsors for the channel, ABU Games and Europe's MTG Madness, for all of your Magic the Gathering needs, no matter where you are.